So I've known Charlie nearly 22 years. And I say that because he's nearly 22 years old. And in that time, I've got to know him a lot. You know, I've got right here a 38-page document on what I know about Charlie. Just kidding. I did not memorize my speech. For one, Charlie snores. Luckily, I developed a natural immunity, which now also makes it to where I do not wake up to alarm clocks. Number two, he's a great person to laugh with. He's very funny. Now third, he's such a goody two-shoes, which is always the worst of me because I was the troublemaker, and it was never a question of who got who into trouble. It was me. Every time. Now, I love good guy characters. Superman is probably my favorite superhero. But make no mistake, I will not compare Charlie to Superman. He's Clark Kent. Alright? I've always thought of Charlie as more of a lover than a fighter. Now he's getting married and he's in the Navy, so clearly he's both. But I know that at least if we're wrestling, I can still beat him. I have not yet gotten him into jiu-jitsu. I've been trying. Since we've gotten older, however, I can only call him a little brother in the figurative sense. He's taller than me, almost as good looking, and probably almost as smart at me as this point. Needless to say, Matlyuba, you lucked out. You picked a good one. When I first heard about Matlyuba, it was my youngest brother telling me, Charlie's dating a Russian spy. And obviously my first thought was, don't you worry, Charlie, I'll save you. All kidding aside, I had seen Charlie date women before. And I knew, even in the past, that they just did not deserve him. Not nearly as much as Matlyuba does. So I met Matlyuba, and they both liked each other, and the rest of the family liked them both. And I did my analysis, and I probably said something witty to Charlie and something encouraging, like, third time's the charm. Needless to say, I called it, and I expect them to be happy forever and ever, hopefully. Now, some might be wondering why I was wearing a sword. Charlie told me a couple months before I was informed by not even him, but my brother, that I was going to be the best man. Charlie told me where the best man tradition comes from. And that was when the husband would steal away his bride, and the best man was the best finding man to keep anyone who would try and stop the wedding from doing so. Well, thankfully, not only were the bride's family more than accommodating, more than incredible, I thankfully did not have to stop anyone from getting to them. However, that this, what I see, 100% worth fighting for.
Testing. Okay, we're good. Hi, everyone. Good evening, and thank you all for coming. I'm Cam. This is Abby. We never go by our full names. We are Matlyuba's sisters and the maids of honor. As tradition dictates, we have to give a speech, and we're doing it happily because there is no greater honor than being asked to run your mouth in front of a room full of strangers.
But this speech is about us. It's about the lovely, now married woman sitting right here. And her husband too, I guess. Growing up, Kim and I weren't as close with Matlyuba as we were with each other, or as she was to her friends, just because of the age gap. But in the last few years, the two of us have grown up a lot and been able to develop a real, if rather sisterly bond. Moving out of my parents' house was a big and slightly intimidating step for me, but thanks to Matlyuba, I was able to experience living independently in the best way possible. I didn't have to worry about finances, or food, or even transportation. She massively improved my kicking skills and my planning skills, although invented might have been a better word for them. When I drove on the San Diego 6-lane highways for the first time, she sat calmly in the front and talked me through it while trying not to pull the emergency brake. She taught me so much while I only had my company to give in return, because that's the kind of person she is. She's a very passionate person who will give her all for the people she loves, expecting nothing in return, and trust me, she has a lot to give. She's lived in multiple countries, connected to many cultures, sought continuously higher education, and has embraced all the difficulties and challenges that come with those things, making her as experienced and wise as someone twice her age. Through it all, she stayed connected to her family and friends and managed to build strong relationships with all of us.
And strong relationships they are. I know that I can tell Matlyuba anything, any secret or problem or question. Oh, she's crying. Despite the fact that we haven't spent as much time together as either of us would like. Now that she's turned onto a different road, one with a husband and a new immediate family, we probably won't get that chance again. But there is no sadness in that, because if there is anyone to whom I must forfeit my sister, better it be that man sitting next to her today. Back home, I have a bit of a reputation among my friends for telling them when their boyfriends ain't no good, but I have nothing to fault with Charlie. The way that he treats Matlyuba reminds me of the way that my dad treats my mom, which is the best thing that I could wish upon any couple. Whatever their future in Japan and beyond holds, I know that she will always be someone I can turn to, and their house will always have a room for anyone in need, because that's just the kind of couple that they are. Okay, now a toast. Glasses up, everybody. Get your cup. That's okay, fine. Thank you. What? Oh. When it comes to toasts, the line between original and kind of ridiculous is kind of thin, so I'm going to stick to the safe side and say, live happily together. I know that you will, always, and I'm happy for you. We both are. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Sauer. I almost just drank from the mic there. My bad.
Thank you. It looks like I'll be competing with the salmon. So if you find yourself distracted, that's fine. First of all, I'd like to thank Jim and Sherry for really, pulling out all the stops and doing such a great job at organizing this wedding. We met them a few months ago, and they've just been fantastic. And they've become very close friends. And we're looking forward to spending a lot of time with them over the years as we celebrate Matlyuba and Charlie again and again through all of their milestones. I don't know if everyone here knows, Matlyuba's name means desired. And that's a beautiful name, although a lot of times people have a hard time spelling it or pronouncing it. For me, her name could just as well have been Tukhfa, which doesn't roll off the tongue perhaps as easily and might have been more confusing for people to understand, but it means gift in Tajik. And Matlyuba has always been a gift to me. She was a gift of enthusiasm and energy when she was a small child, running around, chattering and shouting and climbing trees with her friends, always off on a new adventure. She wanted to be a spy today, a ballerina tomorrow, and a spy ballerina the next day. And it was all good. She pursued them all with diligence and enthusiasm. She was a gift of amazement as I watched her grow up and get more into different activities, diving into books with enthusiasm and learning about elves and Tolkien and all the wonderful things she could. She's been a gift again as a young woman, especially. She's grown in grace and wisdom and seriousness and purpose, and also joy and laughter. She's a wonderful example for my two daughters. And now it's time for her to be a gift to Charlie and to their new family. Charles, I've always had the notion that, as a dad, I'd be able to intimidate the men that, came to pursue Matlyuba. I'd scowl at them and tap a baseball bat or threaten that I had guns or something. I didn't get to do that with you, obviously. You wouldn't have been intimidated, and and you weren't, and that's a good thing, and that's the point, right? That's the kind of man you are, and so I'm very glad that you found her. You were the one who found her and pursued her and won her heart, and that's the way it should be. And since I have the microphone, I want to pass along one piece of advice really to both of you, and that is always give yourself to the other. Forget about yourself in the marriage and make sure that every day you're trying to do something for your spouse. You'll find that by doing that, you'll have sort of a Christmas every day, getting gifts all day long, Christmas and a birthday constantly. And that makes for a wonderful, happy marriage. I want you to know that Mavzun and I will be praying for you every day for as long as we're around. And we'll be the best. And we're looking forward for many, many years of happiness and wonderful news. So bless you both. Thank you.
Okay, I believe my English not enough to express my all feelings. That's why I will speak Russian. And I'm rich man, I brought my translator with me from Tajikistan, Firuza. Okay. Да. Раз, один, два. Что-то мне кажется, даже русского мне не хватит, чтобы свои чувства сказать.
I think even Russian language will not be enough to express all my feelings that I have now.
Я очень рад, Матlyuba, что вот с Чарльзом у вас вы теперь муж и жена. Я хочу вот рассказать одну притчу.
I'm very happy that now we can see Charles and Matlyuba married as a couple, and now he will tell you a story.
Long story. Один влиятельный человек женил своего сына в своем ауле, можно сказать, кишлаке. И когда он пришел в семью сына и начал себя вести, ему то это не нравилось, то не нравилось, то этим он был недоволен, то тем недоволен был.
Once a very rich man, he married his son. He came to his house and started behave like, I don't like this, I don't want this, how it's made.
И в то же время он выдал дочку свою в другой аул замуж. И когда он пошел проведывать ее, на него начала лаять собака. Он слез с лошади и поздоровался с ней.
At this exactly same time, he married his daughter to another, we can say, village. And when he visited her house, the dog started to bark at him. He stopped, he came down, he started to feed this little doggy.
Его спросили, почему ты так себя ведешь? Когда ты был у сына в гостях, ты всем был недоволен, постоянно на всех ругался, а когда пришел к дочери, ты даже с собакой здороваешься.
So one of his friends asked him, why when you went to your son's house, like you behaved like you don't like everything and you was like there as a ruler. But when you came to the daughter's house, you even greeted the dog.
Он сказал, сын, он в нашем ауле, ему никто не сможет навредить. А дочка вышла замуж в другой аул. Там ей может навредить даже любая собака.
So the son stays in my family, so no one can hurt me. I can protect him. But the daughter goes to another family, so even the dog can hurt her.
Да, поэтому отцы настолько любят своих дочерей, они даже готовы здороваться с собаками, чтобы никто не навредил ихним дочерям.
Fathers always love their daughters that much, so even whenever their daughters getting married, they are ready to greet the dogs because they don't want the daughters to be hurt.
Матlyuba, я еще раз поздравляю вас от всей души. Чарльз, поздравляю. И за мной еще стоят мои братишки, которые твои дяди, и Дильшот, и Хуршет, Амаджонка, Нигина, они все, Абишка, они очень бы хотели быть здесь сейчас, чтобы поздравить. От души они хотели вот прямо они до слез хотели прийти и увидеть и поздравить тебя в этот день. Да. Ну, мы их успокоили тем, что вы в декабре приедете к нам, и там отметим еще одну свадьбу.
Dear Matlyuba and Charles, you should know that it's not only us who came to you, it's like a big family who is in Tajikistan, aunts, uncles, grandmas, who wanted to come and congratulate you because it's like a big, important event for the family, because Matlyuba is the first grandchild who is getting married. And so, but we really hope that when you will come in December, we will repeat the party one more time, and it's going to be much more fun.
Спасибо.
We don't have the word cousin in our language. We have only word sisters. Yeah, so I will be short. I want to tell, so our family always greets everyone. So Charles, you should know that now you have a lot of sisters and brothers in addition with Matlyuba. We're always ready to help you whenever you need us. You can just say, hi, we need help. And Matlyuba, we love you so much. You can't imagine. Oh, you can't imagine, but please be happy, and it will make happy us. Nura Famir sends greetings from cold Russia to warm America. Congratulations on your wedding day. I wish that the love in your hearts never fade away and the family grows and strengthens every year. Please accept my best wishes on your wedding day. Love each other. Enjoy your minutes spent together. Remember that your choice is the best and keep the flame of love in your hearts.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say, Matt, if you need some pointers on how to be intimidating, I can do that. First of all, you got to get to be 6'3" and shave your head, but then you'll be all right. I'm going to talk about Charles because I know him. He's a kid that has always been the one saw what I wanted and tried to do it. And it made our family so much more cohesive because he was able to, see what we needed and fill that need. And as he grew up, I saw him take on more and more challenges. I saw him, playing baseball when he was younger, and he was always so down on himself because he couldn't get things right the first time he tried them. He always expected that he was going to go out there and be the best when he had never done it before. But as he grew and as he learned and as he practiced, I watched him do amazing things. I watched him get injured on the football field and then get up after that injury, put the whole team on his back, and almost single-handedly shut down the offense of the opposing team. I picture him doing that same thing for your relationship. He will put your family on his back, whether he's injured or not, and carry you to where you need to be. And Matlyuba, I cannot express how overjoyed I am that that my Charlie was able to find somebody as wonderful as you. And I gotta say, it's also my fault. Because I told Charles, because he had a couple of relationships, and the main problem in those relationships was the girl did not share his values. And I said, Charles, if you want to find a girl who is authentically Catholic and who's going to share your values, try going to the Latin Mass. And then I did a little research and I said, well, there's St. Anne's in San Diego has a Latin Mass. It's right over the bridge, and they have a young adult group. You ought to get involved. And that's where Charles and Matlyuba met. Now, on a more somber note, I want to give you share a little advice from one of my favorite authors, J.R.R. Tolkien. All right, his view on marriage was that all marriages, even happy ones, are mistakes. In the sense that in a perfect world, or even with a little more care in this imperfect world, that you could find with a bunch of care someone better suited to be your mate. But the real soulmate is the one you're actually married to. So no matter what flash in the pan you see out there, just remember, your real soulmate is the one you're married to.
As my sister Kim said, I usually don't shy away from a microphone. This has been the most amazing adventure that I personally have ever been on, been through, been a part of. A couple years ago, Charlie up and says, I'm joining the Navy. And every there? He said, join the Navy. And I had to trust in God and say, okay, this is what he wants. He called last year and he's like, I met this amazing girl and she's super special. And I'm not going to tell you the whole conversation, but he alluded to the fact that she was the one. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to trust in God and trust in his decision making that this is the right girl. And I don't know if many of you know this, but we met her for the first time the week he proposed. And we felt like we had to be on our best behavior, and she felt like she had to be on her best behavior. And I said, I'm going to be myself, and I believe that she was herself. And the thought that kept coming back to me through all of this, go this way. Oh, I gotta go this way. I'm too far away. There we go. The thought that came back to me with all of the planning, I kept saying, I cannot wait for my family to meet your family. And family kept resonating with me. So I want the two of you, in case you haven't seen what all family is here. So the Scanlon family, wave your hands. Anybody related? Friends, family of the Scanlons. There we are. Anybody from out of town? Who else from out of town? Out of state, out of country. There's your family, there's your friends. We've got the Brown family here. Brown family, or extension of Brown family. There we go. And the Sowers. So we've got all this. There you go. And it occurred to me one day at Adoration that I was not losing a son. And you all are not losing a daughter. We are simply expanding our family. And for that, I am very blessed. I have met some amazing people. Some of these girls, I said, I'm your auntie, I'll keep you in line too. So I also wanted to tell you, here's my toast. Jim, can you give me a glass? There we go. May you always have each other's hands to hold, hearts to love, and souls to get to heaven. Cheers.
Since I'm the youngest, then I've known all my family members for my whole life. But from the beginning of my life, I guess, then Charlie has always been my second favorite. And I think we all can say, Mom, she always says that she doesn't have a favorite child, but we can all say that Charlie is her favorite child. It's kind of like my Aunt Teresa's little cup that she gave to my grandpa. It says, I love how we don't need to say that I'm your favorite child.
Thank you. Good. Thank you, Colby. I don't have favorites. Okay.
So, Charlie is my second favorite brother. I'm sorry. Yeah, Dom. He beat you by a couple years. But going off of what Dad said, Charlie, he thinks he's going to be the best at everything at first, but in racing games, he is. He never ceases to beat us at anything. It's unbelievable. Yeah.